Hello, how you doing? You're welcome to class 2 of Animation Made Easy with Obijab Empire. And in today's topic, we'll be talking about timelines and layers. Timelines and layers, and these two things are very important when it comes to animation and drawing too. So knowing how to use this effectively will help you hasten how long you animate, because timelines are everything you actually need when it comes to animation. So aside from your tools, which we discussed in the last class, timelines are where the animation is done. So it's very important that you pay close attention to everything we'll be saying today. So first thing first, we open our Adobe Animate. So first thing you do is go to File, New, and when you open this, you see where you set up your stage. As usual, HD, full HD is what we'll be using. 1920 1080, right? Then 24 frames per second. Then we click what? Create. When you click create, you wait for the stage to be set, and yes, our stage is set. And if you remember what we said in the last class, this is what? Selection tool, shortcut V. This is transform tool, shortcut Q. Lasso tool, shortcut L. Our brush, shortcut Shift B, which I don't use. Then our classic brush tool, shortcut B, which I use all the time. We have the razor tool for E. We have the transformed rectangle tool, the families of the shape tool, right? We have the line tool, we have the pen tool for P, T text tool, we have paint bucket tool, eyedropper tool, we have the, what's this called again? Asset warp tool, beautiful. We have the hold tool, which you use in holding your frames around. We have the zoom tool. I think I didn't talk about this last time, but what this does is you zoom in your stage. When you press Alt, you zoom out. You zoom in, Alt, then zoom out, right? So if you have the graphics tablet that I have, which is XP Pen, just scroll on your, you see this red scroll, scrolling in and out to go in and out, right? And this button, you can actually select other features, right, of your animate. So we'll get to this later. Your camera too, right? Is this camera? Yeah, camera, you see. Let's just, and that's that. But today we'll be talking about the timeline, and this is our timeline over here, and this is our layers. And first off, we'll be talking about layers. And what are layers? Layers are used to arrange our drawings, makes our work faster. For example, when animating, your backgrounds and your characters shouldn't be drawn in the same layer, because if you draw your background and your character on the same layer, it means every time you want to animate, because for example, animation is done by drawing multiple of drawing, or putting multiple drawings together to give the illusion of movement, right? So if we have 1 second of animation for 24 frames per second, which means we have to draw 24 different drawings to get 1 second of animation. If you draw your background and your character on the same layer, you have to draw your background in every single frame, which means it's the same background, right? But since you're drawing on the same layer, it means you have to redraw that same background every time you're drawing a new frame, which will take more time. Animation on its own is very time consuming, right? So you need to always look for a way to make things easier. So with time, you understand what I mean. But for now, let's say I want to draw a character sitting on a chair, right? Let's now draw a guy sitting on a chair. You go to our brush tool, which is B. Then let's make our brush bigger, right? So you draw a character sitting on a chair, right? Now this is a character sitting on a chair, just a freestyle drawing, right? Character sitting on a chair, right? Let's say just sitting on a chair, something like this. I don't know if this makes sense, but now if we want to draw this guy sitting on a chair, and I will now put the chair on the same layers. Are you seeing? It means if I want to draw a new drawing, which I'll explain to you later, let's say create a new frame, you come here, create blank keyframe, right? Then you come here. Now if we want to draw this character again, it means if you want to animate this character, let's say looking up, you see, or raising his hands up, right? If you want to draw him raise his hands up, the same character, right? The same. You'll notice there's no chair. So for us to now draw the chair, which is the same chair, we'll have to be drawing the chair every time, which is not effective. Are you seeing? So now when you hover over it, you see the chair is also changing, but this is not a smart way to work. The smart way to work is to, first of all, let's delete this, create a new layer. Now to create a new layer, this plus button, you click it, you create a new layer, right? Then come here, let's delete the previous layer, which is this is the delete tool or trash can. So just press this, you delete your layer. Now we have a new layer. Now this layer is blank, and that's why it's looking empty. But when you draw something on it like this, you notice it creates a keyframe, right? It creates a keyframe. Now let's delete this. Ctrl Z on your keyboard, Ctrl Z on your keyboard, Ctrl Z on your keyboard together to delete. Now let's draw the same character again. We draw the head of the character. I'll try to make it more beautiful this time around, or more precise, right? I just didn't want to go too much in details. Yeah, let's go character sitting down, right? So we are drawing on one layer, character sitting down. Yeah, this button over here is if you want to move down and up, right? So you draw the character sitting down. So let's say the guy is sitting down. It's not a fine drawing, but just for example, come down here. See? We're drawing outside the stage, if you can see that. Why? Because it's allowed to go after the stage, but this is the only place that will show. If you do like this, is the only place that will show. Where the only white place is what will show in your drawing. So I'll teach you how to move it around, which we discussed in our last class with either lasso tool or select tool, right? So we have a character sitting down, right? This character sitting down. There's one maybe waiting for an interview or something, right? So we have a character sitting down. Now the smartest thing to do now, this is a camera tool here. See, once you click this, you have a camera tool, and you press it down, you see you're zooming out to see more of your drawing, right? This is not your zoom, this is just a camera zoom, right? So now we lock, come back here, right? Now we've drawn a character sitting down. This is just a rough sketch, right? This is a rough sketch. A character sitting down, right? On a transparent chair. Now there are other ways. I'll show you how to use this now. So this is a rough sketch of a character sitting down. Now the smart way to work with layers is, now that we have this, right? This is our rough sketch, right? If we want to do a clean line, it will not be wise to start going on this. What you do is to come here, right click, right, twice. When you right click twice, you get this window. and here you see opacity, and what this does is to either make your character transparent. For example, you see, once you click OK, your character is transparent. Means you can draw over it in a new layer, not on the same layer, because if you try to draw on the same layer, you will not see anything because everything is transparent, right? So what we'll do is, another way to get this button is to go right click, properties. You see, when you move it to 100%, your layer is visible again. When you go to this place, you reduce it, you see, or take it back, properties, take this down, you see, transparent. Then now this, what this tool does, okay, now this tool is to hide your layer. So when you press this, you've not deleted it, you just hid it. Why? Let's say for example we have our clean lines on this and you want to hide it, you hide it with this, and this button over here is to lock your layer. And when you lock your layer, you can't draw on it, right? You can't draw on it, because if you have to draw on it, you're gonna make mistakes, right? So this is to lock, and this particular tool here is to make your drawing into an outline. I'll show you how to use all this or the importance of this later. So like I said before, layers, to add a new layer, you have to come to this place, plus create a new layer. To delete your layer, you press this button, you delete. To turn your layers into outline, this button. To hide your layer, this button. To lock your layer or open your layer, this button. And this particular button is to make your layer not be affected by the camera. We'll talk about this later. So first thing first, we've reduced the opacity of this guy. Why? Because we want to draw over it our clean lines. So we'll create a new layer, right? Lock our layer because we don't want what we're drawing to affect it. Now we zoom in with the scroll button, right? And we draw over it our clean lines. So we'll go to B and start drawing now. See, this line is too big, so we have to reduce it over here. Still too big. Reduce it. I think there's something going on, right? Still too big. Still big. Now this is perfect. You see, this is perfect. So we'll move in and let's try to draw something better. So I wouldn't be following exactly the erase tool is too big. So B, E for erase tool, that's to clean, B is to draw, E is to clean, right? So we'll start by trying to create a perfect character. Start drawing my eyebrows, right? So what we just did was the drawing underneath is just a guideline to get our character in place. So you draw your character as you please, right? As you please. Draw your eyes. Normally I'm supposed to be using a guideline, but I don't really draw with guidelines. I'm trying to train myself to draw with guidelines. So I'm doing Ctrl Z to delete because I'm not liking where it is placed. And other place to do that too. So in drawing this, you see me using almost everything we talked about in our last class, right? Yeah, you see this? Now that's nice. I don't like this. I'll clean and draw. The clean is to E, that's eraser. Come over here. The hairline. Come over here. The hairline, right? Yeah. This is basic, but I'm just trying to get you to understand something. Let's try to make it faster, right? Because we don't want this video to be any longer than it should be. Now looking at this, the character is not well placed, so you use our lasso to draw over this, and move it around, right, until it's perfectly placed. Then you can also use the arrow button, right? There's this button that has arrow button, left, up, down. You can also use it once you selected with your lasso tool. You can also use it to move your character, your drawings around. Yeah, so That's the advantage of digital drawing. You can always fix any mistake you have. So eraser tool, I just cleaned that part, I didn't like it. So I'm using this as an example to show you the usage. Ctrl Z for delete, to show you everything I taught you in the last class, right? So we have this guy already. I'm not looking so fine, but we'll manage, right? This is just for example. So yeah, I'm drawing, still not clean enough, right? Just to show you an example of what we're doing. So let's make it a little bit faster. Move on. So like I said, the first drawing is just a guideline. So let's just make it going faster. The brush is too small. Let's make it faster. Yeah, let's make it faster. So guy sitting down on a chair, like I said. Characters already have a model. So don't want us to spend too much time here, so there we go. I'm also making it, I'm going faster because I just want to show you. I want us to move on. So the guy is sitting down. So you see this, we have a character and it's looking like, let's clean. I'm not feeling this. Let's do it again. Okay. It's going fast. So I'm not feeling this because it's looking like the character is too big. So use our lasso tool again. Then from here you move to transform tool, hold shift so you don't alter the drawing and make it a little bit smaller, right? So we are basically using everything we learned in the last class in this particular drawing. We get to create this, and this is all to teach you about timeline. And in other timelines you can also not draw your characters. For example, if I'm to animate just this body, I wouldn't draw the leg, this leg I'm having here, because this leg will not move. Like I said, this is ways to make your drawing faster. This leg we have here, if I'm to animate this particular guy, I would draw this leg in a different layer. Why? So that we don't have to stress over it. You get stuff like that. So now that we have our character looking good, have our character looking good, let me pause this. So as I was saying, now that we have our character set, this is just still a rough sketch, right? So we now, like I said before, to hide the previous layer, you just click this particular button. You see, all you can see now is the drawing we already have. And now to draw our chair, like I said before, it will not be wise to draw your chair on the same layer. Or let's say we want to animate this leg. Okay, now we'll work on it. So first of all, you lock your layer, right? Underneath it, like layer is used to arrange your drawings, yeah? So for example, what you have here, if I'm to create a layer on top this one, if I'm drawing, it will be on top what I'm drawing, right? But if I create a layer under this guy, right, if I'm to create a layer under this guy, it means if I'm to draw, it will be behind. You wouldn't know because it's not colored, but once you color this, you understand the hierarchy of layers, right? So first thing first, to draw, we have to draw our chair under this guy, right? So let's do that. Just draw a basic chair, our chair on a different layer. So let's make it fast drawing. I think this video is getting more long than it should be, but I hope you understand. So because we are drawing this chair on a new layer, you see we can move it around with a lasso tool without affecting the drawings. Are you seeing? So you can actually edit it differently without having to, you know, touch your characters, stuff like that. So draw our chair on a different layer. You know, let's just make this chair, big chair. Or you can even just use this to hide your character, then focus on drawing the chair. As you can see, right, hide your character, focus on drawing the chair. You see, so let's clean. E for clean, like I told you before. So we're just making a rough drawing. Right, focus on drawing the chair. When you see me cleaning, I already have the E, so you can always check this place, B, to see what I'm pressing. Right, so we're drawing the chair. Let's make it a little bit fine, you know, looking like a chair. Very weird looking chair though. So you see, we have our chair. Now when you turn on the character, you see, it means you can also move your character once you unlock it. Move your character and place it well on the chair. So lock, we want to work on the character, so we lock our chair or close off, you know, hide the chair. And let me see, the character's head is looking kind of too big. Lasso tool it, zoom in, transform to Q, hold your shift so you don't affect. Now if you want to make this head small, as you can see, I'm pressing shift so that the head does not move, but once I take my hand off shift, you see the character starts being distorted. So Ctrl Z to take it to a normal state. Now we'll just hold shift, and hold it down a bit and move it around until our character is looking balanced. Yes, it's looking balanced. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm obsessed with models these days. So this is still a rough sketch, right? By the time we're done, I think this character will be used to touch almost everything we've done since we started this class, right? So this video will be a bit long. So this is still a rough sketch, right? So we can actually just clean this, right? When we clean this, we'll come here, lasso tool, we lasso tool this leg because it's looking more finer. We'll come here, right click, copy. I think I didn't teach you anything about copy. Then paste. When you paste it, you come here again, right click, transform to flip horizontal, move it around, and we have a perfect leg looking so fine. Right, so arrow to move it around, then we'll lasso to our body to place it, make it balance. Yeah, yes, the head is looking, so lasso to move it around. So we're literally using everything we used in our last class, all the tools we used in our last class for this, right? So yes, I'm making my character fine. I'm obsessed with perfection. So now that we have this guy looking like a fine boy or a fine man, you see, zoom in, make the head a little bit fine. So yeah, we lock it on our chair. You see the guy is really not well balanced, so for the chair, let's manipulate it, transform to make it bigger so it looks like he's sitting on the chair, right? It's not looking like he's sitting on the chair is looking too big. Shift, hold shift to bring, hold shift to make the chair smaller. Okay, so it kind of looks so it kind of looks like he's sitting on the chair right now, right? So if we want to manipulate some parts of the chair, go to lasso tool, transform tool, then you just focus on just this part. See the effectiveness of these tools. Now that we have this, now we can turn off our chair. See, our characters and our chair are on different layers. right, as you can see. So you see the importance of layers. You can work on your drawing individually, right? Now let's say we want to do a cleanup. Let's close this. Let's do a cleanup for this chair. So we come to this place, click it twice, reduce our opacity, okay. Come to this place, property, sorry, reduce our properties, okay. Then you lock it, create a new layer on top of this layer. So you come to this place, add layer, you zoom in, and let's try to make our chair fine, right, by drawing over it. This is not a clean line. I would have been making it a clean line, but I'm still drawing fast. This is just for example purpose, right? You draw the chair, so draw the chair, right, making our chair a little bit presentable, right? So just draw this over here, then now you close this, you see? Okay. Now let's say you want to draw a straight line. You press shift, hold your button, and you have a straight line. Draw another straight line, shift, hold your, draw a straight line, shift, draw a straight line, shift, draw, shift, draw a straight line, shift, draw a straight line, right, shift, draw a straight line. Yeah, so you see this is our chair. Now to hide this, we just click this, come here, right click, turn it to a guide so that it doesn't show when you export it. So now we have a clean line for our chair. Now this is our guy, right, on a different layer. This one, so when you don't even need your guideline again, you can just say, okay, we don't need this again as a rough sketch, delete it. We also don't need this particular one, delete it. So what we have now is your chair and your guy, right? Now this is the importance of layers. Now to get to the timeline, well, we want to draw, or let's say we want to animate this guy, yeah, we'll have to add a new keyframe. To do this, we come here, right, come here, we have to lock this chair, right? Now I explained this timeline. This timeline is how long you want to hold a frame. So because of this chair will be in almost all the minutes we'll be animating, we have to just draw this, come over here, right click, insert keyframe, right, insert a new keyframe, or just come here, right click, insert keyframe or insert frame. When you insert frame, you see, go to your camera to insert frame, right? So we are holding our drawing for 35 seconds, right? 35 seconds. So you see this guy, we've not created any keyframe here. We're not holding it for this long. If you want to hold this drawing for this long, you also come here, right click, insert frame, as you can see, right? Now to animate this guy, let's say we want to animate him flexing his muscles, right? This leg will not move, so what we have to do is to cut this leg and put it in a different layer so we can focus on the guy. So how do we do that? We come over here. First of all, let's hide our chair, right? Then come over here, okay, lasso to this leg, we lasso to the leg, right? Now that we've drawn it, right click, we'll cut it, right? We'll lock this layer, go underneath it, create a new layer, come here, paste in place. When you paste in place, you place it exactly where you cut it from. Let's go back, Ctrl Z. When you want to paste it again, if you put paste in center, you can paste anywhere. We don't want this to happen. Ctrl Z, right click, paste in place, right? When we paste in place, we lock it. It means when you hide this, you notice the leg is on a different layer, right? Then we can now come along, right? The leg is on a different layers because we want to focus on animating the body, right? So let's on this chair now, you see. So to animate the body moving up, like I said before, animation is creating the illusion of movement by drawing all your drawings in different movements. So if I want to move from point A to point B, I have to draw point B in a different movement. So we want this guy to flex his muscles. We have to draw him flexing the muscle in a different keyframe. How do we add a new keyframe? So let's say we want to hold this beginning for 10 seconds. From here to here is 10 seconds, right? You come here, put your pen on this, right click, insert blank keyframe. You see, when you insert blank keyframe, there's nothing here again. In the 10 seconds of the animation, there's nothing here. So to create a new drawing, we have to turn on onion skin. What onion skin does, it makes you see your previous drawing, right? So what it does is to make you see your previous drawing so your drawings can be precise. Now, because I don't want us to animate this head again, we can also come here, lasso tool, copy the head, right? Cut it or copy it, sorry. Then we'll come to this new keyframe, right click, paste in place. Right, so now we have the head in this new keyframe. Now to animate the body, onion skin is on. We zoom in, draw over this, right? A new frame of our guy, a new drawing, sorry, of our guy flexing his muscle. Okay, no, let's clean this, not looking good. A new frame of our guy flexing his muscles. Alright, so let's make it faster. A new frame of this guy flexing his muscles. Right. So yeah, it's becoming looking too big. Okay, a new frame of this guy flexing his muscle. Sorry. So this is just a rough drawing anyway. Right. So now we have him in a different position, right? When you off your onion skin and you hover back, you see it's already looking like an animation, right? But it's not looking cool, but then it just passes the message. So we have him flexing his muscles, right? Now to make this drawing, let's play this. This is your play button to see your animation. You see your animation, and this button over here is to loop your animation so you see the movement very well. So you drag this over here to see what you're animating, you see. Now to make it a little bit smoother, we put in another frame in the middle. We'll come over here, right click, insert what? Another blank keyframe. So blank keyframe helps you create a blank keyframe. You turn on your onion skin. Like I said, onion skin makes you see your previous drawing. It can also make you see the drawing, the last drawing. So your first, once you hover this green over here, see this green is showing you that this is the last drawing, while the blue is your first drawing. So to make this animation smoother, we create a blank keyframe in the middle to draw the in-betweens. So when we get to the animation lessons, you understand what I'm talking about. So first off, like I said before, because this head would also not be moving, you have to come here and paste the head again, right? Now to have a smoother animation, you have to go in the middle of what you've done before. This is not animation class, but I'm just giving you an example. So we'll go to our brush B and draw in the middle, right, the middle movement of the animation. And so this, let's say this is the middle movement of the hand. Draw the middle movement of the hand. Like I said, we are drawing in the middle, not outside the middle, but we'll get to this later, so let me not just talk about it. So you draw in the middle, right. So we are talking about onion skin right now. So you turn off your onion skin, right, and you play it. You see it's looking a little bit more smoother, but not smooth enough. Why? Because this drawing is holding for too long. So what you do is you come here, right click, come here, right click, see remove frame. Remove frame is Shift F5 shortcut. Come here again, remove frame. Are you seeing? So come here again, remove remove frame, Shift F5. What this does is it reduces how long the frame is holding for, right? So you see, are you seeing? So how long you hold this frame for will determine how smooth your animation will be. For example, you see, if you hold this frame for too long, F5 is to create frames. You see, it takes time. But when you reduce this, Shift F5 is to reduce. You notice it goes up. So why this is staying for too long? Because we are holding it for this long. Once you come here, you can also delete this by Shift key F5. You see. So are you seeing? When you come again to add new frame, F5 is to add new frames. Are you seeing? Are you seeing? So you see how important both layers, the onion skin is, and also this loop. And this is our play button. This is to go back, and this is to go forward. Yeah. And the shortcut for this is also comma to go back and full stop to go forward. Right. Comma to go back, full stop to go forward. Right. So now, to, like I said before, to add a new keyframe, to add new frames, you use F5 is to add frame. To add the blank keyframe, F7 is to add the blank keyframe. That's the shortcut. Okay, let me just write it down for you. Let's create a new keyframe, block all this. So let me write down the shortcuts to create a new keyframe, right? So let's go here. So to insert keyframe, you use F5. Insert keyframe is F5. That's the shortcut to insert keyframe. To remove keyframe or remove frame is what? Shift F5 on your keyboard, right? Now to add a blank keyframe, is F7. Blank keyframe is F7, right? Then to F6 is to add a keyframe, insert keyframe. Okay, now let's turn off these ones. Sorry. F6 is to insert a keyframe. What other option do we need again? Then convert to keyframe. Convert to keyframe. Convert to keyframe is F6, right? Then convert to blank keyframe is 7. So insert keyframe, insert blank. So we already have all this, and these are the shortcuts that are needed for, you know, to create your timeline. I don't know if you understand everything we said. Okay, you know what, let's just animate in a simpler form everything we've talked about today. So we turn this off. Like I said, once you turn this it offs everything. This is to add a new keyframe. Right now we have a blank keyframe by default. So first of all, you draw a circle, right? Draw a circle. Then to animate the circle in the keyframe, you create what? A blank keyframe, which is what? F6. Sorry, F7. Yeah, F7. Then you turn on your onion skin, right? So you see your previous drawing, and what you draw next is your last drawing. So we draw the circle where we want the circle to go to, right? Now, so we have 2 frames already. When you turn off your onion skin, you see. So to make this animation smoother, turn on, insert F7, insert blank keyframe, then you turn on your onion skin to see your first and last drawing. What do you do next? You draw in the middle, right? On your blank keyframe, you draw in the middle, and what you have is this. To loop it, you have this. So when you play it, you see you have this. It's not smooth enough, right? To make it smoother, you had to add more drawings. So we come to this place again, F7 to add a blank keyframe, right? To see your first and your last drawing, right? If you turn over this over here, if you hover this over here, you see everything you've drawn. But when you take it back, just to see the first and the one after it, right? So you hover this back, so you see just the first and the one after it. Then you come to this place, you draw in the middle again, right? See, come here, remove frame, so you hold it on 2s. When you play it, right, you see it's looking a little bit smoother. So come here again to make this particular part smoother, create a blank keyframe, draw in the middle again, right? When you play it, you see it's getting a little bit smoother. Then to make it more smoother, you add frame, is F5 to add more frames to this, to create a blank keyframe, F7. Do the same thing, draw in the middle, right? You come over here, the same thing, add frame, F5, blank keyframe, F7. You draw in the middle, and you come here, remove frame, and when you play it, you see a little bit, it's getting a little bit smoother, right? So this is everything you need to know about your timeline and layers, right? So in the next class, we'll be talking about symbols, right? Symbols. So thank you, and I'll see you on the next class.